Punya, pious, Dhruma, of trees, Lata, of creepers, Jalaihi, with clusters, Ujit, uttering cries, Punya, pious, Ruga, animals, Vijayhi, with birds, Sarva, in all, Rutu, seasons, Phala, in fruits, Pushpa, in flowers, Adhyam, rich, Vanaraji, of groves of trees, Sriya, by the beauty, Anvitam, adorned. Translation by Stephen V. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The shore of the lake was surrounded by clusters of pious trees and creepers, rich in fruits and flowers of all seasons, that afforded shelter to pious animals and birds, which uttered various cries. It was adorned by the beauty of groves of forest trees. Purport. It is stated here that Bindu Sarovar was surrounded by pious trees and birds. As there are different classes of men in human society, some pious and virtuous, and some impious and sinful. So also among trees and birds, there are pious and the impious. Trees which do not bear nice fruit or flowers are considered impious, and birds which are very nasty, such as crows, are considered impious. In the land surrounding Bindu Sarovar, there was not a single impious bird or tree. Every tree bore fruits and flowers, and every bird sang the glories of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. I really do not know what I can speak on this verse. I neither have any qualification nor do I have any realization. So I need everyone's blessings so that I can speak whatever I heard in the past. Srimad Bhagavatam is a Paramahamsa Samhita. Srimad Bhagavatam Puranamamalam Prema Pumarto Mahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Armatamidam Tatra Daruna Para. Srimad Bhagavatam is a Paramahamsa Samhita. It is a Paramahamsa Samhita, and here actually Swayambhu Manu is actually going with his daughter to meet Kardama Muni to strike an alliance of marriage between the Kardama Muni and Devahuti. So it is said here, in the material world there is a pious and impious. Any trees that don't give any fruits, sweet fruits, don't offer any shelter, filled with thorns, impious. Trees that give fruits, and offer shelter, they are actually pious trees. Prabhupada is talking about crow. Prabhupada is telling it's impious. Why? Because crow likes garbage. Nayadvachas chitrapadam haryariyas. Jagat Pavitram Pragurinit Karichadu. Tadvai Santirpam Shanti Manasa. Why the crow is considered impious? Crow likes garbage. In other words, people who dedicate their lives for doing everything other than Krishna, they're impious. Tadvayasam tirtham. Crows like love garbage. I don't know if you've seen, sometimes in India, they bring out all the trash from the drainage and put it on the road. The crows go and feast on that actually. So, in other words, people, Krishna's name, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes, they are very purifying. Jagat Pavitram, Pragaranit Karishita. But people who are not interested, but they pursue their life to somehow enjoy, though they are beaten up again and again and by adhyatmikati, daivikati, bhaudika miseries. But because of the delusion, what is the biggest sinful activity? I am this body, I am the doer. I am this body, I am the doer. We are not talking about outsiders. Because Kadamkan Maharaj says somebody who is in the bodily platform, what is the first qualification of somebody who thinks he or she, I am this body? The first thing very prevalent is a strong sensual desire to enjoy because of the Rajogun, impelled by Rajogun. Of course, giving birth to children, bringing them up, absolutely all right. Krishna says in Gita, what is that? I am that. What is that verse? Kamaraga Varjitam. So that sensual life, which is in accordance with the scriptural injunctions, it's me, Krishna says. But some people, one day one gentleman told me, we use God very rationally, with a lot of pride. In India, I'm sure many of you have been to ration shops. We give only 3 kgs of sugar. You have to adjust with this. So likewise, people want in matrimonial columns, we are religious only during festivals to eat all the sweets. Because for them, religious during festivals means just eat it. That's it. Tadvayasam tirtham. So these two things are deadly. Majority of this world is on the bodily platform. I am this body and I am the doer. Because of the Bhogonmukh Sukriti, if you have some good karma, things happen in your way for a couple of months or a couple of years, then we start making theories out of it actually. Until again we are beaten up, So 20s and 30s, this is my realization. Body is an object of sense enjoyment, but same body gives so much trouble in 50s. So means Krishna's plan is somewhere you will turn to me. That's why this whole metal world is orchestrated towards living entity turning towards Krishna. People who are very pious, they'll turn in very early ages. As soon as they are born, like children we see here. Or some in youthful age, things don't go well in your way, you'll turn to Krishna. Middle age, things don't go well in your way, you'll turn to Krishna. Or in the old age, fag end of your life, body is failing, you may have so much money in the bank, you're losing your memory, and at least that point you'll turn to Krishna. But a person who doesn't turn to Krishna Tadvaya Santirtham, his life is a waste. If somebody thinks Yugal Kishore Das is speaking about outsiders, we are doing the biggest mistake. No, I'm talking about myself. Because when somebody is in the body platform, what is very prominent? Lust is prominent. And what is very prominent? Ego means I am the doer. It's very important. When you think you are the doer, bhakti in the mode of ignorance means my way or highway. Separatism. I will do things in my way. Otherwise, I'll leave this place. You have to always respect me. As well as Nadana Swami 2003, he was addressing students. I was there. As a spiritual head, you need to know how to balance the egos. This is what he made that statement. He was telling the students actually. I was really shocked. The person who declares war on envy, person who declares war on ego, is truly the recipient of Krishna's mercy. Raga dvesha muktastu vishyanindriyaschara atma prasadam adhigacchati. Who will receive the mercy of Krishna? A person who doesn't have so much attachment and who doesn't have aversion, and a person who is sense controlled. Arjuna, that person, he receives my mercy. What is the name? Kunti says, Janmeshwari Shabda Shribiredamana Madapuma Naivaratya Abhijapatamai Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. A person who has a high parentage, a person who himself is very rich, or very knowledgeable, PhD, are very beautiful. My Lord, they cannot call you feelingly. Why? Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. You are property of the impoverished. Then why Ambarish Maharaj's name is there in Bhagavatam? Why Parikshit Maharaj's name is there in the Bhagavatam? Who can be richer than Ambarish Maharaj or Parikshit Maharaj? Being emperors, they never felt. They own this kingdom, they own the treasury. They are full, they have full Sambandha Jnana, they are part and parcel of Krishna, they are spirit, soul, not the body. And they knew this body is temporary. And at any time, they'll be ejected from this body and everything is taken away from them. With this understanding, as custodians of that huge treasury and the kingdom, they never felt that they owned anything, nothing. If you have that consciousness, then we become the recipient of Krishna's mercy. If we do not have it, then a beggar is proud of the bowl. Anything we have, we become proud. And anything we become proud, we meditate on that. When we become proud, we criticize others. Management is very nasty actually, because you have to criticize. I mean, if you find fault, Shiksha Guru also, with a view to correct that person, it's perfect. Otherwise, if you don't address the problem in the bud, that will become a bigger problem. That's what I've seen. So, a person who has pride in his heart will criticize others. Then they cannot chant feelingly, they cannot call Krishna's name feelingly. And every bird sang the glories of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In other words, when you chant the holy name, you are glorifying Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita explains, when Krishna called, playing on this flute Vamsi, which is only 5 inches, Radha Gopjanal Bhagavan ki jai, Nitai Pratpan Gaur Bhagavan ki jai. Prabhupada writes, it's a call of love. But this Hare Krishna mantra is actually flute vibration, Prabhupada writes. Every day you hear, you chant the holy name and you hear the holy name, you're actually listening to Krishna's flute vibration. That call of love. That call of love. So one should develop, time is running out. How easy it is to speak when somebody is listening, how difficult it is. Rajwari made a nice statement actually. Rajwari Prabhu came. A person who is a sadhaka, he consciously tries to control, he or she tries to control the mind and thereby sharp in the he or she tries to control the mind and tries to sharpen the intelligence. And whenever mind makes noise, because mind is higher, intelligence is higher than mind, you can very easily detect. But the point he made is, point he made was, when ego makes noise, intelligence cannot detect because ego is higher than intelligence. Indriyani paranyar indriya paramana manasusi parabuddhi e buddhi parasas. So higher than intelligence is ego. Sometimes people speak, I watch. It's very easy to detect the mentality behind the statement. Many times I thought, why they do they, why are they doing like this? Then I know it, but when he brought it out, I said, yeah, that could be the reason. This is the reason. People don't realize. People don't realize. That's why, but who can realize? Person who is humble. Person who is humble can realize, can hear the cravings of the ego, can hear the murmurings of the ego. A person who continuously hears Krishna's message. Hare Krishna mantra not only controls the mind, but it purifies the mind. But other processes like meditation, Zen Buddhist meditation, that meditation, this meditation, they may help you control the mind to some extent. But Hare Krishna mantra purifies the mind. So one should make a conscious endeavor to control, to chant diligently on the daily basis, to hear. Because Bhagavatam breaks faith on the material world. Bhagavatam, it breaks your faith on the material world. If somebody has illusion, many times in schools and colleges they say life is bed of roses. Definitely it is not. Life is not bed of roses. One student asked him, what is then? Thorns. But they appear like roses. One lecture I heard, all the pleasures in this world, they attach you only to give you enough suffering. You'll be attached to these pleasures, temporary, ephemeral pleasures, which will give you eventually suffering. So, what is that? So, if we try to chant the holy name and try to control the mind, then to become a recipient of Krishna's mercy, to become that candidate, what are the extra things that we should do? Share the anxiety of Krishna. share the anxiety of Krishna. One day Lord Chaitanya went, "Oh Haridas, in this age of Kali, most people are bereft of Vedic culture. Therefore, they are called Yavanas. They are concerned with only with killing cows and Brahminical culture. In this way, they all engage in sinful activities. How will these Yavanas be delivered? To my great unhappiness, I do not see any way." Lord Chaitanya is feeling anxiety. Haridas Thakur replied, "My dear Lord, do not be in anxiety. Do not be unhappy to see the condition of Yavanas in the middle distance." Haridas Thakur is comforting Lord Chaitanya. Why? So Haridas Thakur knows the answer. What is the answer? Holy name is the answer. So there's a book by Satsuru Maharaj, Vaishnava Compassion. So Vaishnava Compassion means Vaishnava Compassion does not extend to just body alone or mind alone, but to the soul also. My Lord, do not be in anxiety. You have chanted sufficiently. And these Muslim Yavanas, when they hear the haram, 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 it means they're calling, "Oh Ram, oh Ram, oh Ram." They're delivered. And Lord Chaitanya said, "What about animals? What about the trees? My Lord, when devotees chant, when you have chanted sufficiently, but when devotees chant, there is an echo. That is not an echo, but the trees chanting. My Lord, you have filled the whole universe with vibration of the Hare Krishna mantra, and the way Lord Ramchandra took the whole universe, and went back to Godhead on the last day. I know you are also going to do the same thing." So, Lord Chaitanya's concern was about the human beings, about every living entity. When India got independence, there were 80% vegetarians and 20% non-vegetarians. Today, India, there are 80% non-vegetarians and 20% vegetarians. Not that Lord Chaitanya came by to this metal world in Kali Yuga by accident. No. Lord Chaitanya chose to chose to appear in Kali Yuga because everyone is degraded. Everyone is degraded. Badrinarayan Maharaj says, when they would go and speak about vegetarianism, they would say, we know what is that, Democrats are there, Republican Party is there, but we never knew another party called vegetarianism started. Vegetarianism is not a party, that's what America was. But one person's, selfless, tireless endeavor today made America second country after India in the world, in the area of vegetarianism. Haribol, amazing. So, a person who comforts Krishna, who offers, "My Lord, no problem, my Lord." Actually today Bhaktacharya Swami Vyasa Puja. In 2019, we attended GVC College. Bhaktacharya Swami made a nice statement. Sun is setting. It's actually a Bengali song he translated. Sun is setting, and he asked, and all the insects came together. Now world is going to, world going to be in darkness. Who will light up the whole world? When the question came, all the insects became silent. There is no answer because sun is setting now. But firefly said, "I don't know whether I can light up the whole world, but I can light up my home." It's a Bengali song actually. So at least I can light up my home. That's a good idea. Then all the fireflies said, "All right, we light up our homes." So likewise, Srila Prabhupada, Acharya, Saraswati Thakur, They're great acharyas. They have lighted, they lit up the whole world. But their disciples are doing great job. But what can we do now? So we'll do that. No, I don't know about others, but we can light up. I can light up my home. So how do we light up our home? So how do we get Krishna's mercy? Good sadhana. Sadhana means the good way to light up the home, light up our consciousness. Good sadhana. Very important. What is his name? Dwarkadish Prabhu came. Okay, sadhana is fine. What about sadachara? Be good with your family members. Be respectful. Sadhana is great. And do you have sadachara? Actually, Dwarkadish Prabhu was speaking about the relationships. Sachistha Prabhu, after the class was over, he said, Prabhuji, we know all these things. But we forget. Thank you for reminding. You come once in a year and remind. He said, in ISKCON, there is an emphasis on sadhana, but there is no emphasis on sadachara. What do you mean by sadachara? Okay, I finish my rounds before 7 o'clock. Yes, we are vegetarians, no doubt. But we are also cruel. If we don't practice sadachara, sadachara is very important. Haridas Thakur, what made him qualified to speak like this to Lord Chaitanya? The moment he heard Ramchandra Khan's plot, he could have walked out, but he stayed for the prostitute. Vaishnava compassion. So, Vaishnava compassion means Sanatana Goswami is telling to Haridas Thakur, some people preach nicely, but they don't behave nicely. Some people behave nicely, but they don't preach nicely. Some people have achar, but they don't have prachar. Some people have prachar, but they don't have achar. But you have achar and prachar. So, when he was telling, we need to have a sadachar, behavior. Saint Francis throughout his life preached, but sometimes he spoke. Means what? Means he preached by his example, and only when needed he spoke. So, more important than our preaching is our behavior. More important than our preaching is our behavior. One time an American came. Second time he came. Our Krishna Gopakanta knows him. He started talking to our Rohindandan Prabhu. He could connect him. So it's very easy to mind as a language. And the mind language we do not know. But mind keeps on speaking actually. Other persons can perceive it. So he appreciated him actually while before going. It was the first time they met each other. Wow. Huh? First sentence. Okay, first sentence, appreciate. I wrote a book actually. It's not released yet. I mentioned this because I saw this myself. When speakers come, anybody comes and gives class here, with whom you can connect, you will see like this. But somebody has a lot of ego, they'll avoid. Or you have a problem with somebody in the audience, you'll avoid. If you all excuse me, I'll tell you your home because I also lived in home for a long time. You know, if you have a problem with the family member, you'll not look at them. You look at them, they'll turn like this. They will look at you, you'll turn like this. Any experience? You live in the same room. There are iron curtains. I mentioned in my book, that time if you can address the problem, you'll save a lot. Because the layer is affected, but its layer is ruptured, but it is not totally damaged. Anyway, the point is, sadachar is important. So I was reading today, Burjan Prabhu says, how do we go from Nishta to Ruchi, or how do we stay Nishta? Throughout life, only. One is Namashraya. Take shelter of Nama, holy name. Holy name is the only way, only way, only way. Holy name is the only way. Karam Prabhu and I would get up same time, more or less every day. I lived there for 2.5 years. And he would tell this verse every day. Harinam, Harinam, Holy Name, Harinam is the only way. No other way, no other way. Every day he would say this. Before, everyone would drink water, right? I'm sure you all drink water. So one day I asked him, Prabhuji, why you say every day only way? Before, as soon as you get up, people drink water, right? Would all do that. He said, our mind always says there is some way. You are chanting because, okay, you have taken initiation, you took a vow. That's why you are chanting. Because your mind says there is some way. I'm intelligent, I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor, I have this much money. All these things are there. They will take care of me, don't worry. Holy name is only, what is that? A stick, extra stick. But no, we have more faith than other things. So he told me, I am conditioning myself that holy name is the only way. Every day I tell myself. I said, good bro, very nice. So what is that? One day Haridas Thakur went to the home of Hiranyan Govardhan Mazumdar, and they were impressed with Haridas Thakur, hearing that he would chant 192 rounds every day. So Haridas Thakur, or then because he was about to come on the dais and give the class, they were talking about the power of the holy name. Somebody said, if you chant the holy name, your sinful reactions are all destroyed. Somebody said, no, you'll be liberated. Haridas Thakur said, no, both are wrong. Holy name, chanting of the holy name, it does not free you from the sinful reactions, or it does not give you liberation. These two benedictions are not the true result of chanting of the holy name. Actually, by chanting the holy name without offenses, one awakens his ecstatic love for the lotus feet of Krishna. Krishna Prema is the goal of life. You don't boil sugarcane juice for molasses. You boil sugarcane juice for sugar. Molasses is an insignificant byproduct. Kevichit Kevalaya Bhaktya Vasudeva Parayana Agan Janvansi Gatsnena Niharama Bhaskara. Before sun comes, the first ray of sun does not even come out. But do you all know? Nihar means fog. So sun, we don't see the sun, but because sun rays straight goes into the sky, by illuminating the sky, this fog, because sun ray touches the fog, before even sun fully appears visible to us, the fog disappears. Likewise, the initial ray of the power of the holy name will dissipate the fog. Similarly, even Namabhas stage of chanting can give everything up to liberation. What it cannot give is a Krishna Prema. Liberation which is unacceptable for a pure devotee is always offered by Krishna without difficulty. As the rising sun immediately dissipates all the world's darkness, which is deep like an ocean, so the holy name of the Lord, if chanted once without offenses, dissipates all the reactions of the living being's sinful life. All glories to that holy name of the Lord, which is auspicious for the entire world. So, so one has to understand that I have no other way but the holy name, and beg the holy name. Please, I'm so fallen. Time is running out. I'm still at Anardhanivriturli. I'm, what is that? I'm bound by this sinful sinful tendency. I have this, this nature. I'm impelled by lust, greed, anger, envy. Oh, holy name, please. Ayanamaiva kevalam. Nothing else but you only. Help me, help me, help me. So a person takes Namashreya, shelter of the holy name, with humility. They will go to Nishtha. That's why somebody in the Nishtha stage, problems come, they should see the problem as an opportunity. Why? How many of you say every day Trunada Pisanichana? Trunada Pisanichana, Trunada Pisanichana, what does it mean? How many of us have a desire? Oh, my heart should be purified. How many of us prayed? And how many of us told Vanchakalp, not Vanchakalp. If you come to temple, at least you'll say in the morning, right? So you're telling my Lord, oh devotees of my Lord, oh Krishna, you are wish fulfilling tree. And you're telling my Lord, I have a strong desire to become purified. So Krishna is telling, he is praying to devotees to purify. And he has a strong desire. And he is telling devotees are wish fulfilling trees. Krishna says, I'll purify through devotees. Serious? But when the problem comes, I will want to fight. No, I will not talk to you. Krishna says, Arya, that's what you asked. You are calling him wish fulfilling tree. And he gave you trouble. Krishna said, Prabhupada says, what is that? Don't find fault with the instrument of your karma. Peter Barbash, who passed away 2 months ago, he would show one screen. This is the default screen. And he said, these are my 2 pillars of my Krishna consciousness, Peter would say. First one, don't find fault with the instrument of your karma. Peter gave $1,500 or $1,500 donation to ISKCON temple because he liked it. When he went first time, there is an organization who doesn't eat onion garlic. That is one reason Peter joined that ISKCON in Toronto. And he gave those days $1,000 donation, some big amount. Next day he went to take a receipt, only to come to know temple president took that money and ran away. So Prabhupada came, somebody said, the founder came. So he was a budding tennis player, they took Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, if you really want to grow in spiritual life, don't find fault with the instrument of your karma. Peter wrote that line on his heart. Second one, no names. One day, what he went to big man, went to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, we love you, but we cannot stay in ISKCON. Prabhupada said, I am ISKCON. So Peter would show these 2 things. You cannot love me and you cannot be away from ISKCON. If you love me, you love my dog. So if you love me means you love ISKCON. So Peter told these are the 2 guiding principles for me. So the point I'm making is, so when you are telling Vanchakalpita Rubhyasya and Krishna is using, it's a great point I heard. Really, I never thought of this. Why? A person on the Nishtha stage, Trunadapi Sunichana, he has to apply. If he is applying, then only he is on the Nishtha. Otherwise, with Nishta, he may be chanting, he is not on the Nishta stage. Burjan Prabhu writes. Wow. Interesting, isn't it? When I heard this, I thought that I have so many decades I've heard this verse. At least I should try now. Otherwise, you'll be in Anandayurti only. Then only you are getting, one day you'll get the taste. It means you're already applying Nadanam Najanana Sundari. That will not happen without a Trunadapisanicha. So for that, one has to take Namashraya and with humility. Humility is insufficient without a Trunadapisanicha. Meek and humble shall inherit the kingdom of God. Christianity. Jesus Christ said that. And all these big gurus, this Matadesh, they couldn't take it. That's where the problem started. That's the first time they had problem with Jesus. And they found that she's the one, the prostitute, she should be stoned to death. Jesus said no. Forgiveness. And she's humble. She offered shelter. That's when she came and washed his feet with her hair. She cried actually because nobody was offering shelter, but Jesus Christ was offering shelter. Then meek and humble shall inherit the kingdom of God. Jerusalem, you want to enter? You know, all the camels, big camels, but you have to enter like this, tiny hole. So camels cannot enter. So only people who are humble and meek. He said, you guys are not. They are like big gurus. And Jesus said, you are not. That's the seed of the problem, which had led him to the crucifixion. So the point is, Namashraya without humility, even if you take shelter of Nam, but no humility, it doesn't work. What is humility? No desire for glorification. I don't want to be glorified. I don't want to be recognized. If somebody has a strong desire, then it's easy. Another definition I heard, you're a spirit soul, not the body. Another definition I heard, my guru is everything, grace is everything, I am nothing. These are all the different definitions of humility. This is what I want to speak. I'm sorry, a little late. Any question or comment? So if you want just to summarize, what is that? I found only one line. I can speak Hare Krishna mantra. One has to take shelter of the holy name. Holy name is the only way. And holy name is the only way. And take shelter of holy name with humility will put you on the platform of Nishta. And all the problems we should see as Krishna's plan to make us, to purify us, to go to the next level, Ruchi. What is the sign that we are on the Ruchi stage? We are able to apply Nadhanam. We don't want anything in this world. Not interested for, Grosthas need definitely Dhanam, no doubt. But if you utilize it into maintain for Krishna's family, absolutely it's all right. But definitely not opposite sex, not followers. These are a couple of my thoughts. And of course, I spoke about Haridas Thakur and emphasized on the importance of Vaishnava compassion and Sadachar. Any question or comment? Otherwise, we'll end it. Avraj.
Chanting, you mentioned about Sadachar, sadhana. It is evident the sadhana is not being enough to a problem. So, looking at that sadhana is done and not just for the sake of that. Really apply the sadhana also. I personally you can experience that in certain times. There are places where then that means your brain will change, your voice will change. Several circumstances will come. In those circumstances, like as you're saying, there's an opportunity for us to practice humility. That calling to practice humility will not be there. We just react. So, practicing sadhana separately, sadachara is separate, cultivating sadachara. Practicing sadachara also another chapter.
So what is the question?
Now, how we're doing this separately, consciously, we should try.
Yes, definitely we should try. Twenty, 30 years ago, first Vicks released a tablet for cold. Then they added Vicks Action 500. Anyone remember this? One tablet Vicks, and the tablet they added one more tablet. That's how they show in the advertisement. Action Vicks Action 500. This will heal you from cold, but this will heal you from fever also. So one should have sadhana, but add sadachara on the top of it. 16 rounds over, prasad right now. Mahaprasad Govind sir. Now I'll go upstairs and the prasad is ready. Then I'll take prasad is over. Will be go. Then because I have to go to office. Oh hey everyone, everybody, 5 o'clock. Every time is I mean mine only in this world, and you will be very happy, but people around you suffer. I'm serious. So tomorrow you cook this for me, or car, that front seat is mine only. And what about others? Mother says, I'm getting headache. Send the brother because I have to study. Okay, you're so driven, that's good. If we have this throughout, actually colleges, universities, they trained us in this mentality. I am the first. I'm the center of this universe. So this mother, doesn't know that she should be happy because this guy is very career oriented, or she should be miserable. He doesn't even worry about my, I'm doing a lot for him and he doesn't even consider that point. Sadachar should be separately practiced. At that type of devotees, they become devotees. First thing, I should go to Mangalarti. I should finish 16 rounds. If nobody's, I'll sing Mangalarti only. I finish 16 rounds done. I'll give bathroom class also. Performers. But you don't worry about others. They'll sit there only. Krishna consciousness, I read, these are tough lessons in that actually. No. Meek and humble shall inherit the kingdom of God. Very important. Who will inherit the kingdom of God? Meek and humble. Nowhere it is said performers will inherit the kingdom of God. All the people who put into Tirupati Hundi millions and millions of dollars, if Krishna is not Bhavagrahi Janardana, they would have gone back Godhead long ago. But Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardana. Krishna is Bhava. That's why, he may put so much money. If you get some Sukriti, So Krishna has so many varieties of principles. Okay, you want enjoyment, you put $1 million. Bhogonmukh Sukriti, next lifetime also you'll become a millionaire. But go through birth, old age, disease and death. One person doesn't have anything, he stands by, my Lord, I came to only see you, so thank you very much, you are giving me your darshan. I don't have anything to give you. Krishna says, this lifetime will come back. Are you understanding? Does it answer your question? Any other question? Yes, please.
Can you please help me understand when you say humility, chanting without humility is really not helping? Because when we said, Haridas Thakur said, the liberation and the other, what is it? Are the byproducts from holiness. So, if the good qualities like humility and other things, what is helping us going towards Krishna would come from our chanting?
The last line.
The byproducts from chanting is not so important. It's the Krishna prema is important. The same way what you said, that chanting without humility is not going to help. So wouldn't chanting inculcate the humility in a devotee?
If you consciously chant with the desire, my Lord, give me humility. I prayed. Whatever I said, that's me actually. So rounds done. Prasad done. So if you do for the sake of doing it, bhakti is bhakti is separate. If you pray, my Lord, give me that humility also. Actually, throughout my life, as one verse I could not apply in my life. But recently I came across Hariyar, without that you cannot go to Nadanam Najanam Sundari. Or you'll stay now. Durdevam only, second verse only. Durdevam has Jarinan Raga. So sad, you can't. How long you say Durdevam? So you cannot jump. So Trunadav, then I thought one day in a year I'll apply, that day I will not speak. If you are married, you will be humbled at home. If you are single, you will be humbled in the temple. Don't worry, you'll be humbled. So Grosthas don't need to feel, sad that brahmacharis are excluded. No, you will be humbled. You have to make a choice in the temple brahmachari ashram or at home. So you'll be humbled for sure. That is how this world is designed. A simple word, you'll be frustrated. Where you want to be frustrated, that is your choice. Ghar mein ya mandir mein. But you will be, don't worry, that's how Krishna arranges. Lakshmi ji asks, my Lord, what type of creation you brought? In an atom, there is electron, negative charge. Next to that is proton, positive charge. In between neutron, neutral charge, pure devotee. They are all side by side only. So Krishna will send. Why did you create a universe like this? So that they'll be frustrated and they'll come back. Vishnu said that. So don't worry, Krishna will send. So the point is, if you pray, give me humility, then he'll give you humility. He'll arrange. Prabhuji, our humility doesn't come from glory. Our purification doesn't come from glorification. If somebody thinks they are glorifying, means I am purifying, no. Our purification comes from in a very unexpected quarter. I mean, you know better than I do. How many of you are understanding? In a very unwanted way it comes. What do you say? Okay, I think for me to stay in the Nishta stage, I need to apply. You welcome the problem, then great. I'm talking to myself. Does it answer your question?
Separately, endeavor and the mercy of the Lord is requested to give humility, just not the chanting. I'm trying to do that.
Yeah, you need to add that feeling. Or if you sincerely chant, that will come also. I am not Krishna, he's there, he knows. One time, honestly speaking, if I write a program, I thought, okay, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. And that is increasing. Now I have a million combinations. He's intelligent, I thought. Million, literally million. So many. This will happen, this will happen. Million means at least, I had one day I calculated 100, 120, 130. The list is growing. Then I said, Krishna is great. I checked. Nice question. Gaurav Bro has the same question to you, so let's have this in one time. So I should wait until I am fully purified? Maharaj said, Founder Acharya order is there. Preach. But your preaching is for your purification, not that you have become a Suddha Bhakta and you preach. Our preaching is for our purification. When we are preaching to ourselves also. So as you are speaking, you tell yourself again and again and again. Then there is a possibility you'll apply. If you are sincere, you'll apply. Otherwise, if there is a hypocrisy, you will preach. The audience will change, you won't change. One time Gaurari asked this question. When I speak, somebody will come and say, Prabhuji, that day you said this. It really touched me. I applied and it changed. When they are telling like this, I felt, Hariya, I didn't change. I only told. An answer was, when you are preaching, Krishna is preaching through you to you. But we are hypocritical. We are focusing on only preaching. But we are not telling ourselves. So whoever is hearing Krishna's message through us, they are getting affected, but we are not listening. When I heard this, this is great. Sometimes preachers don't change, but audience will change. So first thing is a prachar, but at the same time we should have a desire to apply whatever we are preaching, achar, so that we'll also parallelly change with the audience to whom we are preaching. Does it answer your question? Nishkant, he raised his hand first.
Regarding Sadachar, I have one more statement from
Please.
So there was a beautiful statement saying that one should not be, other person at job and other person in devotee community. And that's truly because if you practice this Sadachar in devotee community, and then we, go out, there will be political agenda outside, exploitation. So this practicing of Sadachar and everybody's devotee, and it is very easy, they understand the philosophy. When we mix with the people outside, so that where I feel that somewhere the diplomacy comes in the heart. We are not integrated, not having integrated with this thing. So how we can actually practice?
Not having last line, not having integrated?
Integrated is here we are different at the home and the temple and with the devotee and outside people, the job is very different because there is a job description for that. So how we should be like one person, not two different persons, by practicing Sadachar outside.
Arjuna is humble by Arjuna is applying Sadachar by shooting arrows. How can you understand? So we need to have proper understanding. Arjuna is killing, but Krishna says Arjuna is humble. Whatever is the medicine that needs to be applied, you need to apply it. That is Sadachar only. And one other thing is, you don't need to propagate that you're a devotee. You don't need to tell others. But yes, devotees are soft. I can understand. But many times I told the statement, to come to path of bhakti, innocence works. But to make progress in path of bhakti, discrimination works. One has to be discriminative. So, endeavoring with intelligence is enthusiasm. What is that? So, endeavoring with confidence. Rupa Goswami, that first verse, it's very important. One has to learn to discriminate. Actually, sadhaka, as he goes forward, he has to keep on discriminating. Okay, my first program, first Rath Yatra, I went 12:30 in the night. Hey, we need your help. Can you please come? I said, yeah, definitely. I'm ready. 12:30, I was so bubbling with enthusiasm. I went told my group leader, Prabhuji, they're coming and asking for help. I told this guy, Prabhuji, we have one group, not just me. So bring it. I went to my group leader. He said, you know what he said? Prabhu, it's already 1:30, almost 12:30, 1 o'clock. Tomorrow morning, we have to attend Mangalarti and we have to take a bus to Singapore. So when they planned this Rath Yatra, they might have planned even the final pack up, clean up. Just because he saw you, he's calling, but they have their own crew. If you really ask me, don't go back. I said, wow. It was like a jolt for me. He said, you learn to discriminate. So it's already 1:30. When will we sleep? When will we get up at 5 o'clock? And when will we get ready? And when will we take the bus? We're all working. So beginners means they work very hard. 10 hours, 12 hours. Project go and take rest. No, I'm fine. And after some time, I'm the only one working. Nobody works here. And you have that mentality, that you'll start judging others. Both are wrong. When to withdraw, when not to withdraw, beginner doesn't know. Mature devotees know. You're understanding? So same thing with outside. When you are in the material world, filled with office means filled with Rajo and Tamo, you have to be definitely careful. Honestly speaking, you should be careful in the temple also. One girl told me, they asked me to do service 16 hours in the temple. I said, don't do it. Many devotees told me, I don't want to offend them. That's why I did not say no to the service and I did it. I said, no. For offense to happen, there should be a element of envy involved. By humbly saying I cannot do it, it's not offense. Really? Many devotees don't know the definition of envy, offense. For offense to happen, there should be an element of envy with a purpose to put the other person down. So if you really don't have time, management is telling come and do service. You can say, Prabhu, I don't have time. Okay, you can humbly excuse yourself. It's not offense. I'm honest, that girl, not our temple, of course. So one has to, to make progress in path of bhakti, one has to be, you should have a sharp razor, sharp sword of discrimination. Otherwise, either they'll be fried or they fry others. Same thing in the office also. One thing I learned in the office, if you possess quality, Prabhu, if you generate quality output, you will never lose your job. Nobody will lose it. There is so much demand for that. But at the same time, America means independence. That independence is everywhere, including office also. So, what? Gaurgopal Prabhu, I loved this statement recently. CAR, C-A-R. Change what you can. Accept what you can't. Or you have an autistic son, accept it. You have your husband is like this, your wife is like this, accept it. Third one, they're toxic, I cannot change, I cannot accept it. Reject it then. Then when I heard, I want to tell Gaurav, the statement is wrong. Because our ego is so high, everyone will reject it. Then he added, as though, transcend. You don't need to reject it. Let the problem be there, you raise above. I really like the statement. So you don't need to reject, but you raise above. So why I told this is in office, if you can change it, change it. Or if you cannot, you accept it. But somebody is toxic, reject it. You look for another job. Or if somehow you can transcend the problem, let the problem be there, you raise above. I really liked it. But I really want to tell him, if I meet him, your ego is there, he'll try to reject it. You understand? So in the material world, you have to be a little careful. So when you want to go and beg, you will say, my lord, in Telugu there is a statement. Say, Bhavati Bhikshandehi. You will not say Arjuna Falguna. So in South India, when it is thundering, we say Arjuna Falguna, Parents will teach the children. So you should know what mantra to apply where.
What does it mean?
Actually, when one day it was thundering, what Arjun did, he caught that lightning in his bag. So that's why in South India, parents train their children. When it's thundering, they say Arjuna, Falguna, Parda, Kiriti, all his names. So when it is thundering, you say the mantra Arjuna, Falguna. When you go for begging, you will not say Arjuna, Falguna. You say Bhavati Bhikshande. Which mantra to speak one? What? That is knowledge. That is maturity actually. Does it answer your question? Yes, Prabhu. I'm sorry, late, but
Two children, one children behave differently, other children behave. Now this sadachara is developed gradually with knowledge and sadhana, or how sanskara link with
one should make a conscious endeavor to create sadachara. Most of the people in the Kali are Rajo and Tamo. Rajo means I, me, mine. I told all the examples. Mother is getting headache. Can you go and bring CVS the medicine? Mother, tomorrow I have exam. Send the sister. Okay, you're driven, very good. So mother doesn't know whether she should be happy because the daughter is very driven for career, or she should be miserable because at least मैंने इतना किया आपके लिए, मेरा सर दुख रहा है, आप सीवीएस 5 मिनट जाके सीवीएस से मेडिसिन लेके आ नहीं सकते आप. So universities are training only career. But there is no sadachar. I need to say, I should not say no to my mom, I should not say no to my dad, I should respect them, I should also accommodate my sister or brother, whatever. This is sadachara. When you come to the devotee circles, honestly speaking, one time yatra, people were bypassing, they're pushing themselves to get into the bus. Iswal Sadhanasam said, this is very bad. It never happened in Navratri. Everyone is 1600 for 10-15 years. Are a devotee, let him go first. Who is a Vaishnava? You go first, Prabhu. I will claim that later. Okay, this is your seat, Prabhu. 1 hour doesn't matter, I will stand. That will create Vaishnava mood. No, I'll sit and give Bhagavatam class. No. He was very upset. Honestly speaking, when we make progress, details make a lot of difference. Vrindavan, all the devotees would wait and feed the first they would serve the guests. These are the initial days. But if you ask me today, I'll serve the devotees first. If you serve them, they will serve the guests. So those days, because there were no guests at all, there were only a bunch of devotees, Hare Krishnas were in the beginning. So that was rule for Newrandan for so many days. So we need to consciously bring that culture. Okay. I wash my hand, I'll pour tulsi water, I'll go. You come, you wash your hand. Then where is devotion? Where is service? You offer water to ab japa ho gaya, prasad ho gaya. And then it's like, what is that? And then you do, mere ko kirtan karna hai, mere ko karna hai. Are aapko karna hai, come and do on Sunday morning, Monday morning. Why only Sunday feast? आपको Sunday feast में ही कीर्तन करना है, means there is something wrong. If you really want to sing, come on Sunday, Monday morning when nobody is there, sing. No, Sunday feast all I should sing. But one devotee says, I want to sing. Prabhu, please. He'll come and 10 times, I want to sing, please. 11th time, either he'll become shy or Krishna will remove him. I told recently in Brahmachari class, Prabhu Vasudev told Kamsa, I'll give my children. What do we do? If you're in Vasudev's day, Are yaar, us din bol diya. Then somebody will say, what can you do? Your wife is on the life at the verge of death. You're right. But now, Prabhu, you have a lot of free time. Plan. Vrishni Andaka Bhoja dynasties, bring. Plan. This guy, what time he sleeps? Put poison and kill him. They're all relatives only. Vasudev never did this. Sometimes we cannot change the problem, Prabhu. Vasudev tolerated for 18 years. 18 years he tolerated. That's why Kamsa believed him. Vasudev, he gives a word. Sometimes there is no solution to problems. I've seen, I also have problem. Was the patience. He didn't even speak one bad. He knew Kamsa. He never spoke one word bad. He did not plot against him. He prayed, waited. No, isn't. Vasudeva is intelligent. Eighth child is going to kill him, it will work. But let me protect my wife. क्या होशियारी उनका हुआ? There is some होशियारी there. But then he waited. Because he saw Vishnu Narayan directly, Krishna showed Narayan form. So let it happen in Krishna's way, not my way. Today people don't have that problem. People don't have patience. You'll tolerate for 3 days. 4th day you'll become angry. Then family member, no, he's normal back. When he doesn't change, I will not change. Then when you don't change, you will not change. This is never ending. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. 18, all the 18 Akshavani, I mean, it will be at least Kauravas, 11 Akshavani, they were holding bow and arrow. Many people I know, once Bhagavad Gita spoke, Bhishma understood, oh, this is Krishna, let us stop the war. No, world didn't change. Who changed? Arjun changed. One day one lady came and told me, I know you're cultivating my sister-in-law. She's like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. In India, of course. That time I told her, you sit down. I kept on preaching to this lady. I said, problem is with her. Why are you preaching to me? She asked me. I said, you came to me, so I'll tell you to change. When she will come, I'll tell her to change it. First you came, right? Yeah. Otherwise, every time will come and complain only. Hey, change. One time Gorgol Prabhu came actually. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm taking. Prabhu, I know them very well. They never came to temple. That day, minus 10 degrees centigrade, centigrade Fahrenheit, January 10th, hall was full. Some ladies told me, I brought my husband to listen to him. Means what? My husband should listen to the class and change. I will not change. Some husbands brought their wives. They should listen. We are listening, but they should change. As long as someone has this mentality, it will never work. For your kind of information, that is the last time I saw them. I never saw them afterwards. So you come here every day. Gauram Prabhu made a nice statement. Prabhu, you want to change. It takes 10 years to change. From tomorrow, you make a decision, I want to change. It takes 10 years. You want to get up from tomorrow, 3 o'clock, or maybe 4 o'clock. You get up every day at 7, 8. 10 years you have to put the alarm. Then only slowly. So what is that? Until such time, others have to tolerate. It is true with the family, it is true with the temple, it is true with everyone. So temple president, if you are very sinful in the past life, you'll become temple president. Any question? We'll end it here. I'm sorry, it's late.
Prabhuji, please, can I ask a question?
It's late. Okay, last question. Go ahead.
Sorry, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, when purification comes, it is generally very painful. So that time, how to protect our Bhakti Lata and how to make sure that we are not contemplating on it, and what should we do other than tolerate and pray?
You only told the answer, Amma.
No, Prabhuji, other than these two things.
When you understand, when you pray sincerely, Krishna gives you intelligence, saying it, this is pure purification, you'll take it. If that line doesn't come into your mind, you will fight with the instrument of your karma. Your ego tells you, my purification will come through some other source, but not this present incident. You agree or not?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Radhana's famous statement is there. When two people fight, either or both want something other than Krishna. I said, wow, what a statement. Either or both want something other than Krishna. And two people have problem. It is true with the devotees, it is true with the temple, it is true with the wife and husband, it's true with everyone. Especially devotees, because we want Krishna only. When either or both want something other than Krishna. I mean, it's like a jewel, it's a visual statement actually. So when you take it as problema, our ego tells, my purification will come through some other way. It will come tomorrow, not through this. Right now he's wrong. Every time I have to surrender. Why he doesn't surrender at least once? But if you say, I am right now chanting nicely nowadays. That's why this test came. So let me go through that. I'm honest with you. You'll make a lot of progress. Indra, I'm sorry, I'll take 3 more minutes then. Indra did yajna, Maharaj Pruthu in one corner of the universe, he was doing yajna. 99 yajnas he did. 100 he is doing only for the pleasure of Vishnu. Only for the pleasure of, only for the benefit of his citizens. Maharaj Pruthu had no any interest. But Indra, 100th horse, he is told 108 times. Can you believe Indra's, Maharaj Pruthu's tolerance? 108 times he waited. 108th time he said, look, I'm sorry. So he gave sufficient space to Indra. Arayara, I am sitting in one corner of the universe. I am doing yajna for the benefit of my citizens. You are in everyone's heart. You all know Devatas are in the control of our parts. Mind is controlled by moon actually. And you know this. Why are you still stealing? 108th time he said, I'll kill you. Brahma comes. Maharaj Prati, if you really ask me, give it up. Who is the suffering party? Everybody. Who is suffering here? Maharaj Prati. Who is at the very safe place? Indra. Indra has nothing to do. Indra is thinking like that. Indra has nothing to do. Even if Indra spares the horse, Indra will not lose. Just by stealing the horse, who is suffering? This whole yajna came to a halt. Maybe for so many years now. Maharaj Prabhu didn't tell Brahma, end of the day, you guys are all same. Devatas only. He's a Devata, you're a Devata. You're a creator, secondary creator. He's a king of the Devatas. And aap dono mila, what is it? You both join hands, humko daba rahe. This is what happens in the family. I've seen this. You both became join hands, and what you're doing? You are hitting me. Arey, unko batao na pehle. Mere ko kyun bata rahe ho aap? You go and tell him first. Maharaj Prabhu didn't say that. Just because you are elderly, I am the suffering party, I will listen. Just because you're told, I'll stop my 100th yajna. Stop. Wow. Immediately Vishnu came. Most of the time we don't see the fruits of our action. By losing, he became the winner. Indra, by winning, he lost. Bhagavatam has few stories, at least 2 I know. By losing, Maharaj Pruthu became the winner. By winning, Indra became the loser. He became so shy. Vishnu came, Indra had to come. Bhagavatam stories are not for 9 o'clock morning class. Bhagavatam stories are for 9 to rest of the day, 9 o'clock, 9 to apply. But when we confine Bhagavatam stories only to Bhagavatam and we bring our nature, we can never learn. Does it answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Dandavati Leonard.